1. Since 1945, all British tanks are equipped with tea-making facilities. Before this time, British tank crews had to exit their armored vehicles when they wanted to make a quick coffee. On the road to Caen in 1944, a German Tiger tank ambushed and destroyed a parked column of almost 30 armored British vehicles in 15 minutes whilst the crew were having an impromptu tea break. This made the British High Command realize if tank crews could make a brew on the go, then they wouldn't be susceptible to being caught with their pants down and their kettles out by the enemy. So after this, the next British-designed battle tank, the Centurion, came with a boiler fitted to the interior powered by the tank's electric circuit so the crew would never be short of a lovely warm cup of tea. 2. During World War I, the French built a fake Paris. Complete with a replica Champs-Élysées and Gare du Nord, this fake Paris was built by the French towards the end of World War I. It was built as a means of throwing off German bomber and fighter pilots flying over French skies. It also even had a fake railway that lit up at certain points to provide the illusion from above of a train moving along the tracks. 3. The Eastern Roman Empire's weapon called Greek fire was used in ship-mounted flamethrowers. The secret of how to make Greek fire was lost with the fall of the Roman Empire. This weapon so unique and deadly due to the fact that throwing water onto it would only feed the fire. It was almost gelatinous in texture and would stick to things. It was mostly used in naval warfare, as the large flamethrowers needed for its projectile use could be better accommodated by ships rather than infantry. The Greek fire would easily demolish a fleet of wood and canvas ships floating on water. An ancient text called the Voynich Manuscript still baffles scientists. There is an ancient text called the Voynich Manuscript that scientists still can't figure out. Handwritten in an unknown language, the Voynich Manuscript has been carbon dated to roughly 1404 to 1438. Some of the pages are missing, and some of them are foldable pull-out pages, while most pages have illustrations. Hundreds of cryptographers and master codebreakers have tried to decipher it over the years with none succeeding to grasp its meaning or origin. 4. A Japanese fighter pilot once dropped wreaths over the ocean to commemorate the dead from both sides. During a sea battle in Pacific Ocean during December 1940, two Royal Navy ships, the HMS Prince of Wales and the HMS Repulse, were sunk by Japanese fighters. The following day, Japanese Flight Lieutenant Haruki Iki flew to the location of the battle and dropped two wreaths over the seas. One to commemorate the pilots of the Japanese Naval Air Force, who died. The other for the sailors of the British Navy, who fought so valiantly to defend their ships. 5. 4% of the Normandy Beaches is made up of shrapnel from the D-Day landings. More than 5,000 tons of bombs were dropped by the Allies on the Axis powers as part of the prelude to the Normandy landings. Scientists have studied the sand on the beaches of Normandy and they've found microscopic bits of smoothed-down shrapnel from the landings. They estimate that, within 150 years, the beach will have fully lost any remaining shrapnel to rust and erosion. 6. The saying, "fly off the handle," originates from the 1800s. It's a saying that refers to cheap axe heads flying off their handles when swung backwards before a chop. 7. Fox tossing was once a popular sport. Popular with Europe's aristocracy during the 17th and 18th century, fox tossing would involve a person, or a couple, throwing a fox as far and as high as they could. 8. Turkeys were once worshipped as gods. The Mayan people believed turkeys were the vessels of the gods, and honored them with worship. They were even domesticated to have roles in religious rites. 9. Captain Morgan was a real guy. He was also a real captain, too. The face of the much-loved rum brand was a Welsh privateer who fought against the Spanish alongside the English in the Caribbean. His full name was Sir Henry Morgan, and was knighted by King Charles II. Captain Morgan died in 1688 in Jamaica as a very wealthy man. 10. Genghis Khan was tolerant of all religions. Back then, the world was a very intolerant place. More often than not, conquering warlords and emperors weren't open to religions other than their own. Genghis Khan was very different from other conquerors, though, in many different ways. One was his interest in learning philosophical and moral lessons from other religions. Despite being a Tengrist, he often consulted with Buddhist monks, Muslims, Christian missionaries, and Taoist monks. 11. Thomas Edison didn't invent most of the stuff he patented. It's fair to say that Edison was one of the world's most notorious intellectual property thieves. Of the 1,093 things he smashed a patent on, he stole near enough most of them off real geniuses like Nikola Tesla, Wilhelm Röntgen and Joseph Swan, the latter of whom originally invented the light bulb. 12. Albert Einstein turned down the presidency of Israel. Einstein wasn't a citizen of Israel. However, he was Jewish. The German-born physicist was offered the post, but turned it down in 1952, saying, "I am deeply moved by the offer from our state of Israel, and at once saddened and ashamed that I cannot accept it. All my life I have dealt with objective matters, hence I lack both the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people and to exercise official functions." If you're enjoying these history facts so far, you may also like these facts about Albert Einstein. 13. Roman Emperor Caligula made one of his favorite horses a senator. If you didn't know anything about Caligula, then this is a pretty good way to get the impression. He was infamous for his brutality and madness. Caligula fed criminals to animals and had conversations with the moon. He loved his horse, called Incitatus, so much that he gave him a marble stall, an ivory manger, a jeweled collar and even a house. Caligula made his horse a senator and allegedly planned to make him consul before his assassination. 14. Pope Gregory IX declared war on cats. He declared cats to be agents of devil worshippers. Not all cats though, it was black moggies in particular. The Pope declared that they should be exterminated. 15. The Leaning Tower of Pisa was never straight. Known worldwide for its 4 degrees lean, this freestanding bell tower was constructed in the 12th century. When construction on the second story started, due to the unstable ground it was built on, the tower started to lean. After this, the lean only increased as the construction process went on, and it went on to become more iconic than the tower itself. 16. During the Great Depression, people made clothes out of food sacks. People used flour bags, potato sacks, anything made out of burlap really. Because of this, food distributors started to make their sacks more colorful to help people remain a little bit fashionable. 17. Lord Byron kept a bear in his college dorm. The famous Romantic period poet was peeved when he found out that Trinity College, Cambridge, didn't allow dogs on campus. So, to rebel against the man's draconian rules, he decided to bring a tame bear with him to campus. Whilst the college's authorities tried to protest, he won his case as the rules didn't explicitly state you couldn't bring a bear to campus. To parade his victory and gloat to the powers that be, Byron often took his bear for walks around campus on a lead. 18. Iceland has the world's oldest parliament in history. Called the Althing, it was established in 930 and has stayed as the acting parliament of Iceland since then. 19. Since the end of World War I, over 1,000 people have died from leftover unexploded bombs. During the Great War, an estimated 200 pounds of explosives was fired per square foot of territory on the Western Front. However, not all of these shells exploded. Every year since the end of the war something called an iron harvest takes place. This is the annual harvest or unearthing of unexploded World War I bombs, as well as grenades, artillery shells, and other explosives, which occurs mainly during the spring planting and autumn harvest in the fields that were once the Great War's arena. Since 1919, over 1,000 civilians and ordnance collectors have died from explosions caused by these in France and Belgium.